Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad to present here a speech from the AMANDUS KAHL company. My name is Andreas Schulz. I'm the sales director of AMANDUS KAHL for Middle and East Europe. And I will show you a little bit something about the KAHL group. And then I would like to introduce some machineries from us and to show you advantages which we have, which can be also an opportunity for you to go in the future. By the way, I will say we have just a small introduction of machines because we have afterwards the EuroTier Digital. We will have an in-house seminar which is called KAHL Connect, which is the 24th March. And you can check out our website for more information. First of all, I like to give you the contents of my speech. It is first a small introducing of the AMANDUS KAHL group. Then I would like to introduce our expander with our advantages for you and your customers. I will talk about the flat die pellet press, and last but not least also about the roller mill, on which we have made a very good new development, which I will just present a little bit to show you what is our idea behind. The KAHL Group have five general companies. It's the KAHL company, and this Schule company, so-called Neuhaus Neotec, Devex and Heinen. The company is still in the hand of this private owner, and we have actually around 800 employees. What are the different companies are doing? So KAHL is mainly in the feed mill industry and in the biomass industry, very often also in the pharmaceutical industry and in the recycling industry. Our Schule company is built machine and plants for dehulling and cleaning for rice plants and other cereals, just in the food industry mostly. Then our Neuhaus Neotec company is also in the food industry, in coffee. So we prepare their complete plants for the coffee from green peels up to the final coffee. And then we have additional our Devex company, which is a company which make evaporation machines to extract the substance of the plant for creating some odor or perfumes and things like that. Last but not least, we have our Heinen company, which builds a lot of big frozen machines to frozen pizzas and bread and so on. And they are also worldwide active. That's are the five companies which gives together our KAHL group. And if you can see on the next slide, we are located worldwide. We have some companies, all the companies are in Germany. And we have worldwide KAHL offices with our own people, and in the most of the country worldwide we have also agents which are able to discuss with you in your home language the opportunities which you have. What you can see here is the headquarters in Rheinbeck, which is close to the Hamburg border. So you can see we are quite big there, and between the hall 7 and 8 we have just built a new hall which is not on this picture, which we have installed a complete new line to produce roller for our pellet mills, which help us to deliver you faster and more precisely in the future. The startup of this new factory plant will be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so we are just in the final testing phase now. What is also a very important issue is that our machines which we have into the factory are state-of-the-art, means very modern. We exchange the machine very regularly to be really on the high level of the production machine which we have in our company. So you can see here also a quite new machine to produce our flat dies, and the rollers here also, that's what you can see. Also a very important issue for us is to be connected with several universities and other schools and laboratory to continue our development in machine, in product which helps you for the future also. A very big issue is, you can see in the last line, is our in-house pilot plant, and this serves us mostly to develop products with our customer, or to get more information about product. We have a lot of special product in the recycling industry, straw industry, wood industry, which needs sometimes to make here test run, to give a good feedback to our customers, to show them what is possible to do with their product with our machines. So when you wants to take this opportunity, you can connect with us and we can show what we can do for you. So back to the company, what we do is the headquarters, as you have seen. So one of our main machine is the belt dryer, which is mostly in the biomass industry, needed for pre-drying the wood before we grind it and pelletized. Then we have the vacuum coater, which is a machine implemented in pet food or in fish feed industry to add very high content of liquids into the pellets. Another is a continuous mixer, where is a typical machine for the feed mill industry to add molasses or other liquids in the feed. And now we come to the three main machine, which I'd like to present you also during this speech. One is the expander, which you can see there right side. Then we have the flat die, and we have the roller mill. All these three machines, I will present you now in the next 20 minutes. I like to start with the expander. What is the additional benefit for you and special for your customer with an expander? So we have different applications for the expander. You can use it as a preparing machine before pelleting. You can use it for poultry and pig feed for hygienization, for the pet food and the fish feed industry. And when we used our expander as an extruder, I show you later on how we do this. And you can use it for single components. That is very common, actually, that many feed mill industry customers, they also start to develop their own or their better raw materials. So that means soya bean, rape cake, or even cereal, wheat or corn, passing by the expander to develop, to open more the starch content and so on. So that is something which is very appreciated at the moment. So if you look at treatment goals, you have, as I said, a better decomposition for the starch. The hygienic effect is given, the reduction of anti-nutritive factors, increasing of digestibility, and improvement of nutritive value. That's also a very important thing for your customers. More conversion rate we have, cheaper is the feed. Additional goals is also, as I said before, the pellet mill line. You can use it for better pellet quality or for the flexible selection of raw material. Means you can buy on the worldwide market cheaper raw material, and with the expander you can carry out more of what is inside, and you have the same good level of your feed with the cheaper raw material. So in total you can save money in the recipe with the raw material. So what is the content of an expander? We have several zones in the expander. We have on the left side, we have the entry. Then we have a conveying zone just to bring the product into the expander. Then we have a mixing zone where we add steam or even sometimes liquid in the product also. Then we have a mixing zone, and then the compacting zone where we have bolts into the expander to break a little bit the flow of the material, just to kneading more the product into the expander. And at the end we have the outlet, which is give a certain kind of form. It could be just a simple expandat, it could be a crumble, or it could be even a pellet, whatever it's wished from your side. If you look now on this picture, you see a typical expander line, started by the pre-bin with a dosing screw. Then we have a conditioner. In the conditioner you add steam, you add steam and heat. You treat the product, you can even add a liquid or something like that. And after the conditioner, you go in the expander, as shown in the picture before, and you pass the product through the expander. At the end of the outlet, you have three possibilities how you can handle the product. First is you bypass the crumbler, the pellet mill, everything, and go direct on the belt dryer and on the belt cooler. On the belt cooler, you have then a big part is called expandat. Or you pass the structure and bypass the pellet mill, and you have a certain kind, as you know it, maybe as a crumble. Or you go then through the pellet mill and you make a classic pellet, but you have taken the expander as a pre-machine for preparing all the material in the pellet mill. So what is the difference between when we talk from expander and extruder? The machine itself is the same, but what you can see at the end, the outlet will be different. I show you this in some pictures. So we have normally a normal cylinder, so-called annular gap outlet, or we have a crown outlet or an extruder outlet. What is the difference of these three? So we have the annular gap outlet is a simple cylinder which is pressed in the channel of the expander, and the product have to bypass left and right side, and when they came out they expand because it's very strong mechanical and heat working on it. So when they go out they will open, and that is expand. That's why we call this expandat. The second one is a crown expander, because the customer asks us if we can make a better form, not only an expandat, and a better form. So what we do is we put the crown on the outlet, and this allowed us to give a certain kind of pellet. We have, as you can see, with a separate motor, we have a knife which is rotating, or several knives which is rotating around the crown expander, and give then a certain kind of a pellet as we know it from the pellet mill, but not so strong compressed as in the pellet mill. Means the specific weight is a little bit higher than with the pellet mill. And the third is the real expander head. Means we press a die in front of the expander, and then we have a real extruder. So that's used when you have a simple pet food for dogs or cats, or simple fish feed. You can use this expander also as an extruder. And we have even construct a machine which you have two heads, you can change. You put one by side, you put another head on it, from the other side, so you can use the expander once as an expander and next day as an extruder. That's a big advantage for you and for your flexibility which you need. So what are the basic conditioning? As I said, the basic conditioning is held in the conditioner, so it's just to give steam inside to make a higher temperature and a certain retention time. What we do afterwards is going in the extruder, and we add the kneading, we add the pressure increasing by mechanical force, and at the outlet we create the expandat. So that is a double function in this process, which give a higher starch content in your final product, and for the animals a better feed conversion rate. Another effect on this is the structure, because we have a kind of expandat or crumble is very similar, so that it means the structure is not so much fines and not so much big product. So we are more in the middle with a middle fraction. That is an advantage in crawling down or for the chicken to eat, because more part you have in the same size, less the animal select the feed. So that's an advantage. And one of the biggest advantage probably for the feed milling is our hygienic effect. If you pass by the extruder or expander, you have an extremely high hygienic effect, so that we in many bacteria or salmonella, we go to zero. So then when you pass an expander, you can say that's really a zero salmonella product which comes out there. And that is very important, because you know salmonella is worldwide a big issue, and if you have a combination of machine which allows you to guarantee to your customer without any salmonella, it could be a marketing advantage and is healthy for the animals. Additional to this is what is the product is during passing the expander is not grinded. Very often I heard that, yeah, but it's pressing, is grinded, but that's not true, because we have a continuous flow inside and it's only kneading, so it is not grinded. Difficult ingredients, as I said before, could be used. So maybe you take a tapioca or sorghum for this expander formula. So you can buy it, let's say, cheaper from the market and make, however, the same value for your recipe which you give to the farmers to develop their animals. So that's our important advantages. Also hygienization we have talked about. We have talked about low dust homogenization, so we have same particle size, so that means it's not mixing demixing so often. You can use the annular gap expander also as an extruder, as I said before, or just before the pellet mill, just to make a better using in the pellet mill. It means the pre-prepared recipe passing by an expander give you a less energy consumption in the pellet mill, give you a better pellet quality and a longer stand time for dies and rollers. So the wear cost will go down when you invest in an expander. The summary is advantage of an expansion is a high throughput rate, is no blockage anymore in the pellet mill, higher water content because you can add twice the water, and it's a very simple process and very simple controlled with our own automatic control. And another extra advantage is you can use it as an extruder too to make pig feed and hygienized poultry feed. So that's a little bit the summarizing of the machine of our expander. More details with figures and data and facts what you need will be handed out at the webinar Kahl Content, which will have held 24 March this year. And for more information, you will find us information on the website or at the end of this speech, you will have also some information about. So please, let's go now to the next machine. That is the flat die pellet press. This is a very simple machine, so the product is falling down in the middle of the press and it will be distributed to the roller around and then pressed through the flat die, that's the name, flat die pellet mill, pressed through and the pellets fall down and will be collected downstairs and brought to the outlet. The advantage is here that we have a lot of opportunities to shell the side for the rollers. So as you can see here, on the left side we have a roller head with only 4 rollers that you can use if you have recipes with a very light product, a lot of straw or grass insides. You need a little more space between the rollers that the product can really go good on the die. On the other hand, on the right side, you have a 5 roller head with 5 rollers. That's more in the compound feed if you have a heavy feed as pig feed or chicken feed. So you have more rollers, they're running around and they make a better pellet quality, a longer retention time in the die and so on. But not only the numbers of roller is important, also how the rollers look like. So mostly in the feed mill industry we have dimpled rollers or remunerated rollers, but we have several different samples here, as you can see, for other industries, for the wood industry, for straw industry. So we have for many different products, we have good answers. It is only the question because about the discussion between you and us, what is your target and how we can solve you. To summarizing, for the vertical flat die pellet mill is a very compact design, small footprint. We can decide for a very specific of your product, 4 roller, 6 roller, faster or slower, small size or bright size, whatever is necessary. A very uniform distribution on the die, easy processing and a very simple construction. So many advantages is for this pellet mill ongoing. Last machine which I like to introduce is our roller mill, which is between tradition and modernity. So here you see a roller mill maybe built in the 20s or 30s, 1920, 1930, and this looks like this. But today, 100 years later, more or less, we are very modern, we have a high automation inside and so on. In the Kahl group, as I said before, we have many different companies. So Neuhaus Neotec, which is running in the coffee industry, have complete other applications to their roller mill as we have in the feed mill industry on the right side. So they have rollers which is possible to heat it up, to cool it down, because they are working with a very, very thin distance between the rollers. On the other side, right side, we have classic roller mills from AMANDUS KAHL, which is in the feed mill industry. We normally talk about distance between the rollers, let's say 0.7 to 1 to 1.2 millimeters, and not really finer. So I like to talk a little bit on this roller mill, which we have there. So what is a classic roller mill? As you can see here, a 2-stage roller mill. The first stage is mostly there for pre-grinding, and the second stage is to grind in the final structure which you want. So let's say, as an example, poultry feed could be in the first roller mill a gap of 1.8 or something like that, and the second stage is then something about 0.8 or 0.9. Standard roller mills are 300, 400 millimeter, mostly 400. Then we have, let's say, lengths of 1 meter, 1.5 meter, 2 meters. Today is mostly 1 meter 5, but more and more is 2 meters. That is a question of the capacity, because today we have capacities requested from 10 to 60 tons, and that is very important that we have a bigger roll for 60 tons and above. So what is the main reason? Let's say, for what is the roller mill the advantage to grind and not the hammer mill? So we have 6 really good reasons. First reason, and in my opinion is the most important, is the low moisture losses. Because when you pass the product in the roller mill, you lose nearly no humidity. If you pass the same product in the hammer mill with all the suction of air and so, you have normally a loss of between 1.5–2% of humidity. And you can make the calculation. If you have 100,000 ton per year and you lost 2%, you can make your own calculation how many money it is. And you will see very soon you have a return of an investment for a roller mill line in 1 year and less. Then is the particle size spectrum is quite strong. So that means we have a very strict same particle size. Energy saving is a question. We need 1.52 kilowatt per ton an hour for the roller mill and 5 to 7 kilowatt per hour per ton in the hammer mill. So you can calculate with your energy cost what is the saving there. If you say 7,000 years the plant is running. We have a compact design, so very strong. We don't need filter, we don't need aspiration lines, nothing. So it's a very compact installation and easily to replace against the hammer mill. We have a very low wear cost on the roller mill. And last but not least, we don't need any explosion and noise protection as you have it in the hammer mill. What is about changing of rollers? It's also very easy. You take away the outlet around. You take out the rollers. Mostly you have a ready roller on the left side laying. So you take out the rollers. You put in the new one. After 1–2 hours, the roller mill is running again. And the used rollers, you can send it back or give us a ring and we take it back. We refurbish and we prepare for the next intervention and we bring it back so you can, with the next change, you can use it again. Normally we say, if you look a bit accurate to the machine, 3 to 5 times it's possible to refurbish such a roller. So it looks, up to last year, look a classic roller mill from AMANDUS KAHL, but then we start to have some ideas and say, okay, what is possible? We go with 2 motors on each roller mill. That means each cylinder has his own motor, and the advantage there is you can not only play with the gap between the rollers, you can also play with the speed between the rollers. Normally you have a fixed speed which is 1 to 1.5 or something like that, but with these 2 motors and 2 frequency converter you can handle as you wish for each product separately. So that's what we have in mind. We have developed this at the beginning of last year, and in the middle of last year we have installed in Germany the prototype. You can see on the right side the 2 big blue motors. That small 2 motors are, one is the feeder, one is the automatic roll adjustment. So we have running this now in the industry 24 hours, 7 days, and we have received extremely good results. But also there, for all these results and figures and sieve curve, we will introduce all this in very detailed during our webinar KAHL Connect 24 March. And once again, I invite you to come there. You will have information on our webpage. You will get from our side an invitation letter, or you find also some information here in the EuroTier Digital where you can look on it. Last but not least is also our new roller mill design, which we have reviewed, redesigned to make it nicer, easier to handle. We would very appreciate to present this at the EuroTier. We have prepared the machine for the online exhibition, but unfortunately we have to do it digital. So the only thing what I can show you now is a picture, but also that part will be very clear, explained and shown different pictures on our seminar KAHL Connect on the 24th March. That was a little bit a short presentation of the 3 main machines in the Kahl Group. I hope you have picked up some interesting information and you are willing to come in our webinar and Kahl Connect, because there you get some more information, detailed information, and I invite you very heartily to say, come to see us there, 24 March 21, and say thank you very much for your attention and see you next time. Thank you very much.